Right, hello everyone, welcome back to Age of Nagash, which of course is a channel dedicated to Age of Sigmar, and in this video we are talking all things about the Dominion box set coming for Warhammer Age of Sigmar, or if you're unaware, basically the Indomitus box set coming for Warhammer Age of Sigmar, which of course is going to act the same as that it will set out really quickly, but this time it doesn't look like they have a made to order function, so if you do want it, make sure you pre-order it within 30 seconds of it going live, or you will forever miss out on it by the looks of things. So in this article, I haven't read through it like I usually don't, and so, you know, I might mispronounce words, everything else, but I want to, again, learn to see what we're going to get out of this article at the same time as some as you guys, and you can see my full reaction to it. If some of you guys have already seen this article and everything else, put it down in the comments down below what you think about it, and especially like after you watch this video as well, and I've read it through all of it, what are your thoughts? Let me know in the chat and also the comments of this video, of course. This is a box that I am at the moment. I'm probably looking at going to, I'm not even going to say get, but basically try to get, essentially. That's in my head at the moment, so I'm quite keen to see what they're going to say about it. But the title of this article is How Age of Sigmar's Dominion box set draws on 40 years of Warhammer history. So right from the early days of Warhammer Fantasy, that I imagine the year the company started, I don't know. If you're that bothered, you can Google it. But it says, so we recently blew the lid off the upcoming Dominion box set during an online preview event, heralding the next edition of Warhammer Age of Sigmar and showing off loads of new models. The armies inside offer fresh takes on both Stormcast Eternals and Orruk War Clans, but they fit in seamlessly next to the existing ranges. Yeah, it does seem like they do that. That's cool. The Orcs look quite new and different, probably fit in more of the, you know, Lord of the Rings Orruks, but I don't think that's a bad thing at all. I really like them. So what does it say next? We asked the Warhammer Studio for their insight into how these new units were designed and how they drew on over 40 years of Warhammer to create something striking and new while speaking to that history. Okay, so again, like I said, I haven't watched this interview yet. Is he an heavy metal painter? I thought I met this guy once at like an open day at one. Well, I think he was a heavy metal painter, but I might be wrong. But anyway, let's watch the interview and see what we think. Still like that logo. I think it's pretty good.
Hi, my name is Jacq.l, and I'm the content lead for the heavy metal team. Working in the Warhammer studio, whether it's like a concept artist or a miniature designer, a painter, a writer, or one of the artists, I think just the environment that we're in, everyone's always bringing it to the, you know, like the utmost level, bringing their A game. No matter what project we're on, everyone's just pushing it. And then every now and again, there's a project comes along that somehow people just find it in themselves to bring it to that next level. And I think Age of Sigmar Dominion was one of those projects that people really just took it that one step further. And it's just great to see how it's all come together. Inside the box, you've got a brand new Forest of Stormcast that look incredible. And you've got a new host of these really creepy looking Orruks that I think between the two, there's so much stuff that you could do with them. Push them in different directions. It's just a great box for anyone that wants to get into Age of Sigmar. When we came back to the Stormcast, this time around, we were presented with a more varied suite of different armor types. And I think overall, we wanted to ground them in some more kind of gritty realism. I think we wanted the armor to really feel heavy and weathered, and the cloths, you know, like thick and worn. So the way we painted it was very much a way to like make them look a bit more gritty and like in the thick of it, you know, like these guys are fighting for all of the free people and are the main defense against, you know, the forces of evil, whether it's chaos or destruction. Personally, I think the new Orruk faction in this box set is one of the most exciting releases I've seen in a long time. I think everyone's got their own favorite army in Age of Sigmar, and yeah, this might just be mine. Against a brand new faction like this, I think it's really important to take everything into account and like approach it really holistically. Everything from like where they live, their subculture, the outlook on the realms and the other factions that live there play into the color choices that we're making for this army. We really want them to look like they're part of the swamps that they live in. They're draped in these like hanging pieces of cloth and skins that they're flayed from their enemies or the beasts that they've trapped. If I had to pick one favorite model in this entire box, I mean, it'd be a really hard choice to make. It would definitely be on the Orruk side, and I think just the great gnash tooth that the killer boss is riding just sways it. Like, I think that is my favorite model in the box, and I'm super excited to see what people do with it.
And there we go. Not too long, but a fairly longish sort of interview there. He was a heavy metal painter, so that's cool. Now it's interesting to hear from like the painting perspective, because when going into this interview, I thought it would be like a model designer talking about the new models, but it's coming from the painting side, so that's interesting. And I don't think he said, you can let me know as well in the comments, I don't think he mentioned that this is the best edition of Age of Sigmar ever in the history of mankind. So that's cool. It's nice that they haven't mentioned that once in a video, so yeah, big fan of that. And also just obviously the Orruks look like they're wearing flayed skin, so because he's actually mentioned it, it's just kind of remember maybe Slaanesh style Orruks, potential you could do things there. But I agree with him. I think the Cruelboyz look really, really good, and they open loads of new options to painters, obviously, of course. And I think with some of the Orruk models, where they lacked some sort of like finest detail and all that sort of thing, I ended up doing like war paint or like on their armor or like tattoos on their bodies. And now if you want to do that as well, you're just going to give yourself so much work to do, but you could do it if you would like to. I don't think there's anything else to say about that. The only thing he did say though is like the Stormcast look like they're in the nitty gritty of the fighting of within the mortal realms. I don't really think so. They look like they have far too much more like equipment with them, or like lots of jewelry or lots of details and all that sort of thing that you don't always take to battle compared to like some of the older ones. I think that's just a bit of a spin on things just to try and make the Stormcast seem different and new, but they are clearly different and new in aesthetic, and I think they're the best looking Stormcast. As more Stormcasts come out every single release, they just get more details, and they're already existing details, just becomes more defined. So yes, good for both things. So then starting off with the best ones though, so the Cruelboyz. So the new Orruks look different from the heavily armoured Ironjaws and the activistic bone splitters, such as the ultra aggressive headcracker mad mob. So where their larger kin represent the raw brutality of the Gork half of the Orruk's twin-headed god, Gork and Morka, the Cruelboyz reflect the vicious inventiveness of Mork. So I like that, as again we've seen loads of Gork stuff. It's they're the same god but they're different. It's Gork and Morka, isn't it? They split into two and they can reform, all that sort of craziness. But it's nice to see some tactical orcs, if you know what I mean. Some orcs that can count beyond 5 basically, so they can although there was an Ironjaw Omega Boss, I think, who rumoured to be able to put 2 hands together and both his feet, so he could count up to 20, but that's just that's an absolute poppycock. That's not true at all. So they say that they're brutal, sure, but it's their cunning that sets them apart. They might not rush quite as headlong into battle, but they'll do anything that it takes to win. No tactic is too underhanded or trick too dirty for them. They even display an affinity for ranged weapons and poison blades, which other Orruks find peculiar, if not outright disgraceful, because why poison your enemy and all that sort of thing when you can hit him in the head with a chopper or something, or a basher, and just have a great time. So I do see with the other Orruks where their confusion comes from. It says, though the design are fresh and veteran Warhammer fans will find them strangely familiar, not least because of the scare shields most of them carry. So obviously we see a lot of these shields. And I just want to say, I don't think I mentioned this when we first saw them, but they do look different, but they remind me more of like the older like Orc boys and all that sort of, and that might be something they're about to say as well, because some of the shields and all that sort of thing, because I think that is Mork's face for most of them, I think they said before. But it says, brightly painted Lyran faces on green skin shields have been a part of Warhammer for over 4 decades, and these sculpts bring them to life in greater detail than ever before. Older editions of Warhammer Fantasy Battles are replete with examples of distinctive shield designs, like these classic drawn, gonna butcher this name, Blanc. Again, it was probably a really good, like, well-known person. I don't know his name. He's probably done loads of good stuff for the hobby. But it says, and it's easy to see how they're inspired. The Scare Shield, the Cruelboyz. And I just want to say that these guys, you know, like the basic Orruk infantry before he goes to like the Hobgrotz and all that sort of thing. But they have, you know, grenades. So I don't know where the basic infantry hierarchy starts in this Cruelboyz. But they're like, if they are like, you know, like the basic infantry guys, they look fucking cool. And their shields are really nice. And you think like, oh, maybe it's a bit too much detail. I think you could paint this up fairly quickly. If you wanted to, you know, use a red contrast for the shield, a green contrast for the flesh. Use just the same brown for all the cloth. Use some lead belcher for the metal. Use from, I don't know, Rhinox hide or something for the spear. Lead belcher for the shield. Yeah, for the spear tips and stuff. Like, you could paint this up really, really quickly if you wanted to. Like, so I don't think they're too well detailed for the basic guys. You know, the more hero guys, obviously, have a lot more details on them. And then these are the great shields of the person that I butchered his name, but I'm sure, like I said, I do recognise all this stuff. I'm pretty sure that was the on the front of the, or I say was, it still is, I suppose, of the Ardboys banner. So it says Cruelboyz are also far less uniform in appearance than what we've seen of other Orruks, given the army a motley appearance befitting their unsavoury reputation. Every single model is full of characterful details that will delight painters and collectors, and their methods of war introduce a new tactical dimension to the destruction armies, which I think is really cool. So it makes destruction not so much as, you know, one way or the highway. And I get it, like, you know, if you want to play something that's not just Smash, you know, play a different Grand Alliance, but I think it's nice to have more choice. Certainly I think so as well, and that's something that I look for, and that's why I really like these Cruelboyz. They represent something different. What did they say though? Less uniform in appearance than we've seen of other Orruks. Certainly not, you know, less than Savage Orcs or something. Unless, well, I suppose they all have the same war paint maybe. But then it goes on to talk about the Hobgrotz, which are definitely not hobgoblins because that is not copyright friendly. So Hobgrotz can be placed somewhere between an Orruk and a Grot, and they too have been around for ages in the form of hobgoblins. Oh, so they have mentioned it. So Hobgrotz have a distinctive look even amongst the Cruelboyz, with weapons and armour wrought in angular, sharp edge shapes. And I think this is where they said something where they escaped from the Dark Masters, or they used to trade with the Dark Masters. Basically, Chaos Dwarves, and it's kind of like Chaos Dwarves kind of announced as a thing, but they're always a thing in the lore, just because their models are like discontinued on Forge World. But I thought when their models were, that either two things, they're just getting rid of them, or hopefully, because what we've seen here, you know, Chaos Dwarves will come back from GW though, from Games Workshop Warhammer stores, as a plastic new army, which would be really cool, rather than it being a Forge World army, because I think Forge World kind of neglect all their Age of Sigmar stuff. I mean, they've made a few cool things since Age of Sigmar, like the Corn Dragon, some other things, but a lot of it's like older Warhammer Fantasy monsters and everything else, and it feels like they're sort of slowly scrapping it all to then refocus into like Warhammer Fantasy the Old World or something like that. It then says the peculiar appearance of the Hobgrotz is inspired by the hobgoblins of old, notable for their cruel grins, spiteful blades, and some unusual technology in the form of those reverted iron grenades. And then says, when did these Orruks get so smart? Yes, I mean, like, bear in mind these got stick grenades and everything. They're just really cool, I think. And someone, can't remember the person who put the comment, apologies, but they did say, you know, like, if these, actually no, I think it was Arnold, it might have been Arnold, who, no, apologies if I got the name wrong, but I think it was Arnold. He said that if these guys can just lob grenades at the enemy when they run into them, when they charge, or they can just explode, when they charge you. I mean, you know, like I'm already sold on this army, so they look really cool. And I've heard some people say like, oh, they don't match up the arm, you know, because it says that they're not, you know, uniformed in appearance, right? You know, it said that somewhere that these guys are not as uniformed as some, yeah, in appearance than other Orruk factions, because you know you've got ones of like different sort of like sub races of Orruks, and I think that looks really cool. Like I'm a guy who likes a big mixture of things, as long as it's all kind of painted the same. Like I'd probably paint their skin the same. I reckon I wouldn't do this yellow color. I generally like Orruks with like really bright green to like, you know, contrast Orruk flesh or orc flesh or something, which you know is really easy go to, isn't it? So but yeah, I like the armor, and I think it makes them look a bit different and stuff as well, which I say I like. It says the Cruelboyz revel in the chaos rules of the rise of the earthquake. God, Kragnus, the forces of destruction threaten to overwhelm the realms. Yep, that was right. But fear not, the Dominion box also contains an army of heavenly warriors ready to hold the line. So we then go one yawn, a lot better than yesterday. Right, it then talks about the Thunderstrike Stormcast Eternals. So Sigmar's champions continue to evolve to meet the changing battlefields of the Immortal Realms. They bear all the hallmarks of the Stormcast Eternals you know and love. Love are a strong word, some of us hate them. But they look a bit different, and for good reason. This new breed of warrior wields blessed weapons and dons indigenous, can't pronounce it, Thunderstrike armor. So again, you know, you've already got your Stormcast army. Do you want cool looking ones? Like cooler looking ones? It's like, oh, I've already got my army. I'm pretty happy with how it works. Thank you. Right. Well, here's new cooler looking ones. So you want to buy the new ones and get rid of the old ones. But they do look cool, so I can't argue with the logic. I really, really like these guys. I already mentioned that, like, you know, Agent Nagash, you know, hates Stormcast Eternals and all that sort of thing, you know, very jokey way, sort of, you know, the lore and stuff. But these guys would look beautiful for my Slaanesh force if I wanted to convert them up and everything. So, oh bloody hell, it's all started again now, isn't it? So I'm a big fan of these guys, and I think, to be honest, even these ones just with the shields and the spears, or the halberds, I think they are potentially like the best new looking unit, or oh no, they're the spear. I think this is like the best new looking unit, to be honest, from the Stormcast range, without going into heroes and stuff. Even though they're the basic ones. But it says, so why the different armor? If you haven't been keeping up with Broken Realms, you might want to have a look at this primer. So click the link here to take you to a summary of it, or check out like 2 Plus Tough's videos. Basically, he does a great job of that. It says to find out why these warriors are essential to the Stormcast's continued survival in the Mortal Realms. It then says Sigmar's champions have been linked directly to Azir since their creation, but that connection has been compromised. So, again, you want to find out why, check that out. But it then says, Thunderstrike armor was designed to allow Fallen Stormcast to pierce the veil of corrupt chaos energy that now swells above the realms. The path back to Azir is still dangerous, and the Stormcast Eternals spend more time than ever on the ground, working more closely to the mortal kind. So that's pretty good. But I don't really feel like they look battle worn or anything. They look like they're more finely tuned and more fresh, and that might be just because, you know, they're new models. But yeah, so it's a bit of an unusual one. But I think they're just saying that just to make them sound a bit cooler. But the Stormcast that are on the front of the battle turn that's currently out for Stormcast Eternals look the most battle worn. But it then goes on about these guys who are in the running with these guys as the coolest new Stormcast models as a unit. I think that's mainly because I think they'll make great like Chaos Chosen for my army and stuff. But then goes their armor is slender and ergonomic compared to the more classic style. Can you say classic if it's only like 5 years old? I don't know. As befits longer deployments and campaigns, without returning to Azir. Without the Thunderstrike armor, Stormcast Eternals would be losing a battle of attrition as their numbers slowly dwindle. Yeah, because if they can't go back, then obviously the whole thing with Stormcast Eternals is that they're without number because their souls are just continuously reforged, and the worst thing that happens to their souls is they just become, they lose their humanity and they just become more of a weapon, which is not a bad thing for Sigmar, even that he doesn't want to admit it. It then says, if you haven't already taken a look at the Warhammer Age of Sigmar website, it's full of information about the new edition, with more being added all the time. And then basically just sign up to their newsletter if you want to make sure you don't miss out on any important dates or developments, and then you just sign up here. And then it says, check back tomorrow to find out when you'll be able to pre-order the Dominion books. Okay, that's cool. So that's again, this video, I mean, we've got news, but I think it's more, it's not really showing us anything we didn't know, but it's showing us what we already knew, but just taking a more detailed look of what they've already revealed to us, which I think that's quite nice. Again, it would be nice to have a date for the pre-order or whatever, or something like that, but it's nice to hear the more explained, because then people go like I was saying that the only reason they made these guys because they look better than the old ones to try and get you to buy them, which I still stand by and I believe that's true, but they come up with lore for why they look like that and everything else. And then the Cruelboyz, the ones that the ones that look really, really cool, in my honest opinion. And I always like to paint things up different to the box art, but I'm looking at this, and apart from making the green brighter, I'm like, I really like the red shields. What colour would I pick as the drabs overalls and stuff? And you don't. I mean, they would have access to dye, wouldn't they? Because I'm trying to think, like, could they dye the flayed skin to make it like the colour of their clan or whatever? But all this I can think of and all that sort of thing if I do get the box set. And just to say, check back tomorrow. Obviously, we'll find out the pre-order day, but I strongly believe that it will be a week tomorrow. So tomorrow is the 5th, and then it will be my maths is right. It will be the 12th of June. Just to double check my maths. Hopefully that is right. Yeah, the 12th of June, which is a Saturday, so that's not tomorrow. Next Saturday, I believe it will go on to pre-order, because they're showing us so much information about it now, and not just like snippets and stuff, because they're also showing, because they've been showing us quite a lot on 3rd edition, because they've been doing like an article every day, haven't they? I think this week or for most of the week. So I think they will be doing this being released fairly soon. As soon as this comes out, Warhammer Age Sigmar 3rd edition drops. So going by those calculations, Warhammer 3rd edition will be with us on the 22nd of June, which is cool. So now that gives me a date for knowing when I can plan tactical videos and do reviews of the 3rd edition, which is good. This is all speculation, but I honestly think this will be in pre-order on the 15th. But we'll find out for sure tomorrow, and have a bit of fun. Let us know what you think when this will go in pre-order in the comment section before we find out tomorrow. And again, if I can, I will do a video review and whatever news they show us tomorrow as well. And let me know on your thoughts on what we've been shown here. Basically it's mainly kind of like lore and like a hobby inspiration and stuff by the heavy metal painter and everything else. So let me know your thoughts on that. And what I'll say, guys, is, as always, if you did enjoy this video, could you do me 3 really easy things if you haven't already, which is smash the fuck out of the like button, smash the fuck out of the subscribe button, and smash the hell out of the bell notification. What that does is makes the channel so much better, and it's absolutely free, because by liking to the video, it means that I know that you guys enjoy this sort of content, news, Stormcast, Cruelboyz, whatever, the new box set coming out. And it helps the channel, because YouTube sees a lot of people liking this video and go, oh, we'll recommend it to more people, which massively helps out the channel. And then by subscribing to the video, if you haven't already, if you enjoy any of my stuff, please smash that subscribe button. It makes the difference in the world to me, because by this channel gaining subscribers is how this channel grows and continues to improve and get the best content I can for you guys as possible. So make sure you smash that subscribe button. Only a fifth of you guys who watch my stuff do. So make a massive deal to me if you could smash that subscribe button. And by smashing the bell notification, if you've already done the first 2, means you never miss one of my future videos, especially if you're after news and things of 3rd edition. I will cover it as soon as possible for you guys to give you my honest thoughts on whatever news they've shown us, and try and do that, like I say, as soon as that news is out, so you guys can hear about it as soon as possible. And if you feel like you know someone who would enjoy this video as well, make sure you share it with them. And if you would like to join the great community here with Agent Nagash, make sure you click the link to my Discord, which is in the description of this video. If you click that link, it'll take you to my Discord where we've got something like 270 members. It's a buzzing community. There's loads of people talking about tips for painting, all that sort of thing, showing their like fight against the grey and their hobby progress. And there's loads of talk about all the news for Warhammer 3rd Edition at the moment as well. So go check that out if you would like to, and you won't regret it. I am assured that I can tell you that. And the last thing I want to say as well is, if you would like to support the channel that step further, I have got a YouTube membership, which means you can click the join button next to the subscribe button, or you're allowed to become a member here on Age of Nagash, where you can give anything from just £1 a month, go straight towards the channel. And I've got a link to my Patreon top description down below, which you can click, take you to my Patreon, give anything from just $1 a month. And by becoming a YouTube Age of Nagash member, or becoming a member of mine on Patreon, that allows me to continue this. As I always say when I do this sort of bit of the video, that without these amazing people you can see on the screen now who made the decision to support me personally in that way by giving me that much, like I say, just personal, financial support basically. YouTube is not profitable at all. It's not like I do this and get loads of money back. If anything, it was a business, I'm making a loss. But these people allow me to justify the amount of time, effort, resources and money and stuff I put into this. So they make it all worth it. And my big supporter amongst all of them is going to be Filq, because he is a vampire lord on Zombie Dragon, which he knows just how much that means to me. And a massive thank you to you, mate, on a personal level for continuing to support me at that tier. Really is incredibly generous of you, and please keep it up. And then we've got my Morgasts, who's Bleed Red, who's been a Morgast for a long time now. So thank you for your continued support of that tier. Really helps, mate. And then my vampires, who are Mir, Stence, Raz321, David A, Dragoonity, which I just want to say, apologies if I pronounced that wrong. You have just become a vampire of mine on Patreon, and I am really, really thankful and privileged as well that you decided to support the channel in that way. And thank you so much, and you won't regret it. It's going to make a huge difference. Thank you for your continued support, hopefully in the future as well. And then we have Ronni H, Darren L, SpareBear, Christopher H, Northdrop, Nathan F, Andrew G, and Ben C. Thank you all so much for your continued support. Honestly, makes so much of a difference. And then we've got my Necromancers, who are going to be Jacq.l, RadiationRiley, AW77, Dice Sagas, WolfNick, Michal W, Cranky Wombat, Madcap, Christopher C, Christopher F, James S, Thomas B, Steve T, James T, Patrick F, JJ, and R. Christopher. So thank you all so much. No matter what tier you are the reasons why I can continue doing this. You're incredibly generous of you. Honestly, you deserve more shout outs than I give, even though I do it in every video. Honestly, can't thank you guys enough. And I do just want to, because I don't think I've got you on the list. I think, sorry if I've accidentally missed you, but I do want to just say a massive thank you to Sception, which I believe I said thank you to you in a chat or something when we did a hobby hangout. But I just want to say big thank you to you personally, mate, for the design to become. I think you became a Necromancer, have you? So we'll get you added to the list next time. But thank you as well for deciding to become a Patreon. Honestly, makes a huge difference, and the more support I get this way means the quality of obviously all the content I can make becomes more. So if any of you guys like to become a YouTube member of Age of Nagash, click the join button, or you'd like to become a Patreon, click the link to my Patreon top description down below. But if you can't do that, no worries at all. But all I ask, if you did enjoy this video, do the thing that's absolutely free and amazing, which is by smashing the like button, the subscribe button, bell notification. That would mean the world to me. And more than anything else, I'm just really glad that you came and checked out this video today. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. Like I said, there was no like shocking breaking news and all that sort of thing, like in terms of rules really, but we got to hear a bit more of an insider thoughts behind the new Dominion box set, and we know there'll be a release date tomorrow. So that would be cool to see when the pre-order date will be. And yeah, so with that, guys, I'm going to thank you again very much for watching this video. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Let me know your thoughts on all of this down below in the comments for sure. It'd be great to hear that. And remember, until next time, to stay safe, stay hygienic, wear a mask, and for God's sake, wash your hands. So by the time this box set comes out, you can actually start playing it on the table with your buddies. And beyond everything else, doesn't matter what video it is, remember until next time, that Nagash is all, and all is one in Nagash.